All right. Hey, everyone. We're going to continue the video series here. I'm still in Puerto Escondido. It's actually pretty loud where I'm filming, but since I'm going to use Descript to edit this video, it's going to knock out all the background noise. So that'll be pretty cool. But let's get into it. Okay. So we're just going to continue down here. We already have done identify the niche. I'm going to do a separate video on profitability calcs because I just feel like it needs to come after this market research. That some of these things you can do in a little bit different order. So in this video, we're going to do conduct market research and audience building. So like before, or I actually did already create a Notion page just for this with the stuff that ChatGPT had spit out here. And I actually already did some of this in ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you guys the results. So based on what I had there in Notion, to define your target audience. So a lot of this stuff, like just to remind everyone, don't let these things intimidate you because what you want to start with is just asking ChatGPT, what do I do here? And so that's what I did to start this new chat. Okay, I'm planning to launch a collapsible tripod standing desk. What are the potential target audiences? And this is what it came up with. And it actually did a really good job because some of these I had already thought about, but some of these I wouldn't have actually put on a list. So remote workers, that given, and that's my niche. Same with travelers and digital nomads. That's the easiest audience for me to pitch to because that's what I do. Then it identified a lot of other good ones here. So just regular office workers, students, photographers and videographers, event organizers and exhibitors, health conscious individuals, small living spaces. That's a really good one for people that live in cities and don't want to have a giant gamers and streamers. It's another really good one. Most gamers sit down in a chair, but it would be a much healthier way of gaming all day to actually be standing up. So I really like that one as well. So I took it to the next step here and said, okay, estimate the size of each target audience in the United States. So for this video, I'm just going to focus on United States just to keep it simple. Could do whatever country you want to do this in or worldwide, but for now I'm going to focus on US. And this is pretty cool. It gave me a whole lot of stuff here. Numbers from what I've heard and read, ChatGPT needs to be fact checked. So some of these don't totally lean on, but it still does a pretty good job coming up with some estimates. So instead of reading this, I just said, put this in a table. Okay, boom, here we go. Put it in a really easy to read table with the sizes of these audiences. So this is pretty interesting stuff here. Remote workers and freelancers, 42 million, office workers, 80 million. Just to get some context, I looked it up. The population of the US is around 330 million. So that gives you an idea here of just what. Yeah, so office workers, 80 million, students, 20 million, travelers and digital nomads, 4.8 million. So what's really important about this, when I actually came up with this idea, I was just thinking about marketing it towards travelers and digital nomads like myself, because that's why I wanted the desk, because I was traveling a lot. I liked working at stand-up desks at home. I wanted to have one when I traveled. So that's why I originally came up with the idea. Now, what's really important to note here is that's actually a pretty small market size compared to some of these other markets, office workers, students, remote workers, and freelancers. So why this is important is because all this is going to drive some of the stuff we go over in later videos, which is coming up with the branding. But if we have branded this towards just travelers and digital nomads, for instance, calling it a nomad standing desk, that would really niche ourselves down and it would prevent us from going after some of the bigger markets that this could actually be used for. So having all this information is really good because now it helps drive decisions on, okay, what should be in the branding? What are the audiences we can go after and how do we market to those audiences? So this is really important stuff, really interesting. Okay, I have this in here for the next video for profitability. But what I do want to do is, okay, we've now defined our target audience and their size. This next one's interesting. Survey your target audience to gather insights on their preferences, pain points, and expectations. This is obviously something that'd be super valuable if you're just starting a new product. You could just survey your Instagram or people in your network. But since we want to go over some AI tools here, we want to try to use some of the tools to do this survey. So the first thing I did was just ask ChatGPT, what are some survey questions I could do to ask the initial market? And then here's some things: I got demographics, work habits, how often do you work from home? Do you use a standing desk? Awareness and preferences, purchase intent, use case studies, branding, marketing. So these are really good questions to build a survey. And without having done a survey before, this would have taken me a long time to actually put these together and put it into a survey format. Another really cool tool that I found is called Pollfish, which uses AI as well. So I'm just going to go in here. This says type your survey goal. Okay, I'm just going to say, what is the interest in a collapsible standing desk product? One reason I can never spell collapsible. Generate. Okay, so after just typing in that question, here's a survey that it automatically generated. Okay, how often do you work from home or at a desk? What feature is most important to you in a standing desk? How much would you pay for a collapsible standing desk? Would you be interested in purchasing a collapsible standing desk product? Do you have any additional comments or suggestions? Those are pretty good questions. Very similar to what ChatGPT came up with. Now, this is actually pretty expensive. I think it's about $1 per answer that you get, I think per question. So depending on how you build this, so I think it's per survey filled out, it's $1. So if I want to send this out to 500 people, let's just say it's $570. So what I did instead, because we're trying to do this lean, I found a program called Attest. And let's see, let me pull up okay. So if you go to Attest, you can just sign up using your Google email and it'll give you a free survey that it sends to 100 people and you get 5 questions. So that based on $1 per answer, you're getting a pretty good deal by getting that many responses or 100 answers to a survey for free. So I went ahead and did that. And I'm going to show you guys the results because it's really cool. So here's the results I got from doing this free Attest survey. All I did was plug in basically the questions from Pollfish that it came up with and ChatGPT. Do you ever use a standing desk when you work? So 100 people did this survey. Sometimes, never, never, but I'm interested, never, not interested, primarily, often, rarely. So sometimes there's a pretty high percentage of people that already have an interest or say that they're interested. Only like 18% plus basically a quarter of the people said that they're not interested. So that's a pretty good sign. Then I said, would having a collapsible standing desk interest you? Yes, no. So 86% of the people said it would interest them. In what situations would you use a collapsible standing desk the most? At home as a secondary desk. So again, this is really interesting stuff. And again, it's what is going to drive things that we do in future videos, which is coming up with the branding. So one of the questions was when traveling outside my current city. So only 23% said that's what they would use it for. So again, I really would have pigeonholed the product if we had only marketed towards digital nomads. So again, just to remind everyone on that market research, things are pretty much in line with this. So at home, this is crucial information to have here. This question I actually screwed up because I put it in the wrong question type. What feature would be the most important feature for you? I mistakenly put it as a ranked question. So I'm going to skip that one. Unfortunately, don't have good data there. And then here's a really good one. What is the most you'd be willing to pay for a product like this? So the most you'd be willing to pay. So 250, 11% said 250, 18% said 200, 27% said 150, 21%, 100, and 23% 50. So basically, half of the people said they'd pay 150 or above. That's also really good info to have because that's going to drive some of the decisions in the next video, which is what to sell it for and figuring out, okay, what can the profitability of this product be? I'm going to show you one other thing here. It's getting a little long, but another tool you can use for market research that's also free is custom audiences in Facebook Ads Manager. So everyone with a Facebook account has access to Facebook Ads Manager, way more technical than just using your regular Facebook account. But you can get there just by going to adsmanager.facebook.com. Do some other like YouTube video research on how to use this, but I'm just going to show you some things here because you can do a little research on the audiences within this platform because it tells you what the size of people with different interests are. So for instance, I put in here standing desk. There's actually an interest in Facebook Ads Manager for standing desks, and it's got an audience size of 150 or 1.5 million. So this is in the United States. So an audience of 1.5 million. So you can, when you develop Amazon ads, like looking forward to even future videos about the marketing strategy, you can market only to people that have already showed an interest in standing desk. And there's 1.5 million people. So it's really good to know that there's already a big interest group for this product. You can add some other interests to narrow it down even further. So we can, if we want to go after travelers, frequent travelers has a huge audience size. This is a 1.5 billion. So this must be worldwide, not just US. You can put people that are interested in physical fitness, and I'll just show you, you can basically pick any type of stuff, business, travel, and type that in. Okay, business, travel, interests. There's 10 million people interested in that. So basically we can look at the types of audiences that were identified by ChatGPT and then try to find audiences on Facebook that line up with those to see, okay, how are we going to be able to market to these people? Well, we can do it with Facebook and using their pretty sophisticated marketing algorithm. Just another thing to do some research and build your potential audiences. So that's it for this video. Appreciate everyone. Talk to you soon.